Hello students, in our previous video we have discussed that sound is a form of energy which produces a sensation of hearing in our eyes, and sound is produced because of a vibration, and we know that vibration is a rapid back and forth or to and fro movement of a body about its mean position. So sound is produced by vibration made by a vibrating body. Now today we will discuss how speeds, how sound needs, how sound propagate in a different media. We have also discussed the two activities that shows sound can travel through solids and sound can travel through liquids, and it is clear from these activities that sound travels through liquids, solids and gases, that is sound requires a medium to travel, and sound travel fastest in solid, then in liquid and slowest in gases. For example, a person standing on the moon cannot hear the sound of an explosion that takes place at some distance on the moon. This is because there is no medium. So, no sound can travel, and sound energy is transferred from sound cannot travel in vacuum because the sound energy is transferred from one particle of a medium to another, and in this way sound propagates through a medium. As we know that the speed of sound in air is 340 meter per second, and the speed of light in air is 30,000 kilometer per second. It means that sound travel at a slow speed while light travel much faster than sound. So sound make a few seconds to travel a distance of a few hundred meters. Light will take practically negligible time to reach a distance of even a few kilometers. For example, in a rainy season, the flash of lightning is observed first and the sound of thunder is heard a little later. But both the natural phenomena are produced at the same time in clouds. It is because of very high speed of light that we see the flash of lightning first, and it is due to comparatively low speed of sound that the thunder is heard later. Now let's discuss some terms related to the sound wave. We know that sound travels in the form of a wave, just like this. Sound travels in the form of wave, and we will study in detail the sound is formed of waves in our higher classes, and waves are characterized by three basic quantities: amplitude, time period and frequency. We will use the example of periodic vibration of a simple pendulum to explain the term amplitude, frequency and timetable. Although a simple pendulum does not produce sound wave that we can hear, and this will help us to observe only vibrations and understand the terms amplitude, frequency and time period. So we know that a simple pendulum consists of a small metal ball. In this is a simple pendulum which consists of a small metal ball that is called the bob, suspended by a long thread from a rigid support such that the bob is free to swing back and forth, just like in this picture. And the motion of the bob of a pendulum from one extreme position to another extreme position, from one extreme position to another extreme position and back is called one oscillation of the pendulum. For example, in this figure, the motion of the pendulum bob from its extreme position B to another extreme position A and back to its position O, and another extreme positions A and back to its position O is called one oscillation. Now let's discuss what is amplitude of the pendulum. As the pendulum oscillates to and fro, the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position is A, and its maximum displacement is O to A, again O to B, and come back to its position. The maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position on either side is called the amplitude of the pendulum. Here OB or OA are the extreme position of the pendulum, and it is called the amplitude of the pendulum. The next is oscillation. We know that the motion of the pendulum from one extreme position to the other extreme position and back is called an oscillation. From, for example, A to B, B to A, and again come back to its position O. Time period of the pendulum is the time taken by the bob of a pendulum. This is the bob of a pendulum. Time taken by the bob of a pendulum to complete one oscillation is called the time period of the pendulum. And the time taken by the bob of the pendulum to travel from extreme position A to extreme position B and back to A is called the time period of the pendulum. Frequency of vibration is the number of oscillation made by a simple pendulum in 1 second is called its frequency. And the SI unit of frequency is Hertz, and it is represented as Hz, named in the honor of German physicist Heinrich R. Hertz, and it is denoted by, similarly, it is noted as N or F. And 1 Hertz is equal to total number of oscillation per second, means F is equal to 1 upon T, means 1 Hertz is equal to 1 Hertz is equal to total number of oscillation per second. If a simple pendulum makes 4 oscillations in 1 second, then its frequency will be 4 Hertz. Loudness and pitch of the sound. Loudness and pitch of the sound, these are the characteristics of a sound. Two main characteristics of a sound. First one is loudness and second one is pitch. So let's first define the loudness. What is loudness? In our common experience, that when we shout, we produce a louder sound. We produce a louder sound. Similarly, when we whisper, we produce a feeble sound. Loudness is a characteristic of a sound by which a loud sound can be distinguished from a faint or feeble sound, even though both have the same pitch. And it is measured accurately by amplitude of vibration. Amplitude of vibration of sound source. It has been found that loudness of sound is directly proportional to the square of amplitude of the vibration producing the sound. For example, if the amplitude becomes twice, that loudness increases 4 times. And loudness, the unit of loudness is called the decibel, and it is represented as dB. Again, if the amplitude is less, the sound is feeble, and the amplitude is more, the sound is loud. Next is pitch. Pitch is a characteristic of sound by which we can distinguish a shrill sound from a grave or a hoarse sound, even though the two sounds have the same loudness. As we have discussed that pitch is a subjective measure. However, pitch of a sound depends upon the frequency of vibration. It depends upon the frequency of vibration. The pitch of the sound produced by an object vibrating with a low frequency is low, and the sound is described as grave or flat sound. And the pitch of sound produced by an object vibrating with high frequency is high, and the sound is described as shrill sound. So you have to just remember, higher the frequency, high pitch, shrill will be the sound. Low the frequency, low pitch, and sound will be grave. The higher the frequency of the sound, higher its pitch, and vice versa. You have to remember this thing. For example, the voice of children and ladies is shrill as compared to the voice of men. This is because children and women have short vocal cord, which therefore vibrate with a high frequency to produce high pitched shrill voice, whereas men have large vocal cords which vibrate with a low frequency to produce low pitched grave or flat sound. Similarly, the wings of bee and mosquitoes, they vibrate with a high frequency, hence the sound produced by them is shrill and high pitched. Another example is when the skin of tabla or the string of a guitar are tightened. They give out a sound of higher pitch than when they are loose. Similarly, in a flute, sound is produced by a vibrating column of air. The frequency of vibration is altered by closing the holes of a flute, which changes the length of the column of vibrating air. When more holes of a flute are closed, a note of lower pitch is produced. When less holes of the flutes are closed, a note of high pitch is produced. So, these are the characteristic of a sound, and it is generally determined by loudness, pitch, and another one is quality also. The quality is the characteristic of a sound that enable us to distinguish between the two sounds of the same pitch and loudness produced by the two different sources, and it depend upon the waveform of the sound. For example, we can recognize our family members by their voice without seeing them, because voice of each of them has a particular quality. Another one is audible and inaudible voice. Audible means that can hear by our ear, and inaudible means that can't be heard. All bodies that vibrate, they produce sound, but we cannot hear all of them. You have to remember, we cannot hear all of them. Our ears are sensitive only to a certain range of frequency, and the sound that can be heard by the human ear are called audible sounds. Audible sounds are those that can be heard by human ear, and the audible range of sound for human being is from 20 to 20,000 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Sound of frequency less than 20 hertz and higher than 20,000 hertz are not audible to human ear and are called inaudible sound. And the sound having frequency less than 20 hertz are called infrasonic sounds. They are called infrasonic sounds, and the animals like whales, elephant, and rhinoceros, they produce infrasonic sound. Whereas the sound having frequency more than 20,000 hertz are called ultrasonic sounds. These can be heard by bats, dolphin, and dogs. Police use spherical whistle known as the Galton whistle that can produce sound of frequency more than 20,000 hertz, so that their dogs can hear these, but not the fugitive who is being traced or followed. It's all about the audible and inaudible sound. Now we will discuss about the noise, music, effect of noise pollution, how to reduce the noise pollution in our next video. And there is a home assignment for you. Watch the video and find the answer of this question. Thank you.